Hi again. It's been a bit since I did a small review like this. The team behind ARRTX recently reached out to me asking if I would be willing to test out their acrylic markers and review them for you guys. While I'm mainly a digital artist and only really doodle traditionally for fun, I've heard nothing but great things about acrylic markers as a medium and knew I had to take the opportunity to try some out. Since it's my very first time using acrylic markers, I decided to start out by drawing some character busts from something I'm super familiar with. Yay! I was gifted one of their 60 acrylic marker sets to use and was immediately blown away by the color variety of this set. It offers a lot of unique and vibrant shades that I find really complement my recent coloring style. I wasn't too sure about doing a pencil sketch since I didn't know how opaque these markers would be, but I found the layer coverage is really strong. It takes next to no time for the layers to dry between applications, which means you can get some really vibrant colors out of these markers. One thing I've heard about acrylic markers that always stuck out to me is that it is a really forgiving medium, and I was thrilled to discover how true that was in real time. I get excellent cell shading with these, which is really fun. The only thing I didn't mess around with or try too much was blending, which I've seen people use where they blend it with their finger, but since I'm using paper that isn't the best for markers, I didn't really try out that aspect. But no matter how many layers I ended up using on these markers, it didn't soak through my pages or even bleed through, which I thought was really cool to see how strong these markers work. Paper that isn't even intended for their use. My only critique is actually aimed at the barrel and cap of the markers themselves. I did end up having a few I couldn't open at first, which I was worried about breaking them since the plastic feels a bit cheap. Pulling on the caps did result in unscrewing the bottom half of the marker from where the ink is held, but as I kept using the markers, I found this being less of an issue. I assume receiving these markers, they're just looser, from which you end up screwing them on yourself. As for the packaging, I'll say I wish the boxes were slotted in some way so I could keep my markers in order. I initially made a swatch of the full set, but it ended up being completely useless since I couldn't keep my markers in order in the boxes very well. So I ended up just swatching onto my paper as I actively drew, which ended up not being an issue for the end product because of the way that you can layer these markers and actually end up completely hiding black under an orange because of the way that you can continue to layer and layer your colors. It was extremely fun to use for this purpose. I actually really see myself using these for fun. I do a lot of digital work, so I'm really not familiar with drawing traditionally these days, so it was just amazing that I could get the fixes and adjustments that I usually couldn't find with traditional works. Once again, the colors picked for this set are phenomenal for me, and I was able to just use flats to draw each character into a fun palette I like. For example, I really like drawing Susie pinker than she ends up being, and I got to draw Noelle with a more orangey palette when she has this really nice mellow reddish brown, but I thought it ended up looking really cute next to my very pink Susie. I see myself using these a lot more in the future, even just for fun, because I don't really work traditionally for like my job. I'm not great at traditional. I had a lot of fun working with these. As I said, it was my first time using it, and I found these to be extremely fun to use as someone who's really used to digital art. I wasn't expecting to be able to cover my mistakes as well as I did, to the point that it's not even noticeable in the final product. So the thought of being able to draw more in my sketchbook is really fun. These markers really gave me the confidence to be doing that more these days. It's actually really fun to come across something new, especially off of using my tablet. And I would even recommend these markers to beginner artists or people who don't even draw traditionally as well. I know a lot of us really like using digital art online, and this is just a nice way to also just do something else with like your wrist, which I find really cool. And I always love doing something new, and I hope I can do some more traditional stuff in the future. ARRTX is actually doing a 15% off anniversary discount from August 21st to August 31st. Even if you don't happen to catch this video within that time, I think these markers were really worth it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to ARRTX for reaching out about these markers to me. These really are the markers that make you smile. Smiles.